Hi, this is Hunter with Tortoise and Hare Software, and today we're going to be talking about building out the Simplify section of the Presto landing page framework. And the Simplify section is really a section that kind of takes people out of the information gathering, rational, logical kind of portion of their landing page browsing experience and really resets them into more of a shopping mode with high visuals and very strong language. So we'll kind of talk about how to transition and get them back into more of a conversion oriented mindset after presenting them with educational content in the education section. So let's hop right into the video. So before we start, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about kind of a buyer psychology, sort of a known thing in the landing page development / conversion rate optimization space. And that's just that people kind of have two modes you should be aware of. And one is that more of their information gathering, rational kind of logical reasoning portion of their brain. So when you're really giving people information about your services and kind of building a business case and telling them what you do and all that stuff, you're really activating their more rational reasoning, logical thinking sort of portion of their brain. And that's not really a portion of the brain that you want active when you're trying to get somebody to make a conversion or take a next step or take an action. So you really want to kind of shock them out of that mode. And get them into more of a shopping mode and kind of activate their acquisition or their greed, or their reward centers of their brain and that's what really the function of the Simplify section is. It's to kind of blast them out of their reasoning, logical thinking mode and put them more into that acquisition mode. And we'll talk about how to do that in the screen share here in just a second. All right, so I'm here on the cybersecurity page, and we've had our pain section, we've done our resonating paragraph, we've kind of gone through our education stuff, and we're getting to the end. They've already browsed the frequently asked questions, and then boom, now we're on the Simplify section. And that is this large font, larger spacing, highly visual, very colorful section, and I call this the Simplify section. And in this section, we really want to kind of be a little bit more shocking. We definitely want to make this a very visual, very engaging sort of section. This could almost even be bigger, take up a little bit more real estate on the page, but it does look good as is. And we have a kind of interim call to action here. So that's really the kind of one of the functions of the Simplify section. And I'm very picky about kind of the copywriting, and this is one of the most difficult ones that I have trouble with getting contractors to kind of be more aggressive with, because a lot of people want to be nice and a little bit more passive. But this section, we really want to be aggressive and kind of I really like this kind of headline here. Cyber threats don't wait, and neither should you. Learn more about partnering with KRS IT Consulting to protect your business with industry-leading cybersecurity services. Talk to a cybersecurity consultant. We got a nice little visual hover effect there on the button. And we're trying to kind of make this a simple choice for them, and that's why I kind of call it the Simplify thing. It's just that simple. Cyber threats aren't going to wait, and neither should you. Take action now. We always want to give them a call to action option in case they want to kind of convert here. And that's really the function of this. And we're also going to take a look at this IT services sort of page. That last one was a cybersecurity page. This is an IT services page. Predictable monthly pricing, predictable results. And an important thing about this kind of page is that it's stays focused on the original kind of starting point of the page. So we really want the kind of like theme, and the theme throughout this page is like, proactivity, predictability, all that stuff. We're giving pricing information earlier up in the page and stuff like that. But we're trying to also kind of like activate their greed, center of their brain, and again put them in that kind of like acquiring mindset. Think about like Gollum with the one ring, my precious, like sort of deal. We're getting them like in that like, all right, like in that conversion mode. So we want to like kind of be like focused on the outcome, and you really got to know like what does the prospect really want. And when people are looking for a managed IT provider, this is one of the prime things they're looking at is predictability. Like they're willing to spend a little bit more money on a managed IT service offering versus a break-fix thing to get that predictability and that stability, and also kind of lock in some of those like more fixed costs and predictable costs on a monthly basis. So with KRS, you don't have to guess when it comes to your IT costs and what you're getting for your money. You get predictable monthly pricing and stable performance IT infrastructure and cybersecurity. Talk to an IT consultant. That's kind of another good like simplify example. And then this one, again, see why over 100 businesses in New Jersey have trusted us to manage their IT and cybersecurity. And again, we kind of recycled a similar sort of sub-headline here. And this is really more of the homepage. So this is focusing more on like the company itself. So we're trying to play up the company with our simplify section here. Another kind of like example here, Control Alt Delete your network outages. This is a network support focused page. So we're trying to stay focused on secure, reliable networks that small businesses depend on. So again, the theme matches the kind of pain headline there, and we're trying to saying Control Alt Delete your network outages. Don't wait for the next network outage. Partner with Control Alt Delete for secure, reliable support today. We're really trying to be aggressive. Like this is not where we're sugarcoating things. We're trying to really like again like get them focused on their pain point and get them out of that information seeking mode and more into their like being really greedy about fixing whatever their specific problem is. This is a Tortoise and Hare example. Start generating more local lead volume today. This is a local SEO focused landing page. Local SEO services that keeps the leads flowing. And then we have a synergized simplify section here. Start generating more local lead volume today. So that's kind of the simplify section. Again, really some of the characteristics of this are it's going to come right after the education section, usually right after those frequently asked questions, and we're trying to just like shock them out of that logical reasoning information and like portion of their brain and get them more in that like greedy acquiring sort of mode and like really simplify things for them. If you want the outcome that we've been talking about throughout the course of the landing page that we kind of like start specifying in the pain section of this page, then we'll make it simple for you. You want to start generating more local lead volume today, book your free IT consultation. Again, colorful, visual, bold text in a headline, quick hitter kind of sub headline and a call to action. And that's really like the summary of the simplify section. All right, we'll do a quick demo here of using the PRESTO AI generation model, kind of continuing our theme of generating a managed IT landing page for a local IT company in Winnipeg. So we'll just say, give us 20 headlines for a simplify section to choose from that align with the page topic. Okay, so I like this one already. It's jumping out at me. Protect your productivity with proactive managed IT services. I like it because it's got a little bit of alliteration there with the P's. Let's see if there's anything else cool that pops out. Stay productive every day with always on managed IT services. Not too bad. I like to use the word Machiavellian. Be a little bit more Machiavellian. Which is a hard word to spell. Okay, so some of these are bordering on, offensive. But this one is not too bad as far as managed IT services are the line between growth and disruption. It's compelling. It's got a little bit of an edge. We want a little bit of an edge. Something like this is probably too strong. The weak rely on luck. The strong rely on managed IT services. That's probably going to not win you any friends. But we want to be a little edgy here. We got to, again, kind of shock them a little bit. So I'm going to just say, go with option 10. And, oops, let me stop. And say, give me 10 to 20 variants of that. One thing I also like to do is say, make some sort of choice. So let's say, make a tell them to make a choice as part of the headline. This one is not too bad. It's a little edgy, but decide who wins. Your business with managed IT services or your competitors without. Decide now. Growth with managed IT services or downtime without them. I'm going to just go with option 12 as an example, but you can see how, so I'm going to say go with option 12, create a subheadline that plays off of it, but you can kind of see how to use the tool here to kind of tease out a good simplify headline, and then you can make a subheadline off that. So decide who wins. Your business with managed IT services or your competitors without. With proactive IT management, your system stays secure, your team stays productive, and your business stays ahead, while your competitors are left reacting to problems. So we've got something that's a little edgy. We're having them stay focused on proactive IT management, and we're kind of activating that little bit of greed in them, because we want to give them an edge, and people want a competitive advantage. They might kind of beat around the bush about it, but everybody's in business here to make money. And, your risk tolerance may be different, so you might want to choose something a little bit softer. I probably wouldn't go with this one specifically, but it is like a good example one. I'm just trying to encourage you to think like, gotta have a little bit of edge. We want to be a little bit shocking because, again, we're trying to disrupt them. We're trying to get them out of that educational, rational, logical brain and get them more into a shopping mode with this section. So, we got to take a little bit of chances with that in our copywriting. So yeah, all right, that was the demo, and we'll go to the outro here. All right, hope you liked the video. Again, the simplify section is all about kind of activating them into that conversion mindset and helping you generate more leads. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And once again, my name is Hunter Nelson with Tortoise and Hare Software, and thanks for watching.